Thomas charging through the midfield. Thomas, it's up for grabs now. Thomas, right at the end.
Hello, you are listening to It's Up for Grabs Now. This is the Arsenal podcast. I'm Alan Davis. I've got Ian Stone with me this evening.
Hello, Alan.
Hello, Ian. How are you?
I couldn't be better. It's just been such a brilliant weekend.
You've had a great week.
Ecstatic. Yeah.
And Ty, how you doing, T?
Hello, mate.
Yeah,
He's not very happy.
he's got that, what you talking about, Willis look at his face. He's got the toe.
Yeah, he's my
What are you talking
doppelganger.
about,
Did you
Drogba?
know apparently it's supposed to be doppelganger week?
Yeah, who's mine? Mine apparently,
Who's
is the
yours?
bloke who hangs out the window on the Vodafone billboards. Have you seen that?
Oh, yeah. You know
I've
what?
had
as
so
well.
many people on Twitter saying, what are you doing on that Vodafone now? You're the bloke with the Vodafone billboards. And I saw it today and I did a double take and thought it was me.
We all look like someone.
Who do you look like,
Oh,
Stoney?
I
Not him.
apparently look
It
like
is
a
not
Jewish version of Chris de Burgh. Yeah. Apparently, yeah, and you can hear from the laughter that I do.
We
gotta get a picture of Stoney
on
out.
webcam.
Yeah,
We've got to get a
I
picture
can
of
see
Stoney out.
somebody photoshopping now. They're at
That's
it. aren't they?
amazing.
It's the burg, yeah. Daryl Booth, get on your
Yeah,
photo
you're
shot.
listening.
He
Yeah.
is, yeah, exactly. You know he's listening.
A lady in red.
Mine was always, Gary Coleman from Different Strokes,
Right.
basically. I
What
was
you
just
talking
shaking him off. What you talking about, Willis?
So big week for the Arsenal this week. This is part of our big fortnight for Arsenal where we had to play. Big week. No, seriously, we had an FA Cup, big FA Cup match. Then we had Villa, big game, big away game, tough game.
Big away game.
Man United at home, obviously very important. We won that. Got to win your home games. And then the real big one, after we'd gone through those three, we had to beat Chelsea at the
Came to the
bridge
6-pointer.
to really go top. And then we're on for the double.
How's it looking?
I don't know. I've been away. Does anyone know?
Actually,
How's
for the
it gone?
Well, there was a.
How many goals have we scored? Because we're the top scorers in the league. I mean, we've scored 60 goals already by January. How many did we get? Tell me how many we got.
We got West Ham Imran back, so before the end, can you put down at the end of the show? Can you put the Zimbabwe national anthem, please, for the show instead of the
media
usual
lockdown?
music? Because we've gone into Mugabe media lockdown, so I can't tell
No
you
one knows.
what's happened in the last few
So
weeks.
got a
if you
consolation.
were listening to this podcast in the hope that you'd hear about the Arsenal, none of us actually know what's happened.
We got a consolation against Man
We got a
United.
consolation goal.
I heard
Yes,
that.
get in. A clean sheet, and that's a 1-0 win.
Yeah.
Did we keep a clean sheet?
Well, against Villa.
What is
we
a
did-
clean sheet, anyway? I don't understand the concept.
Actually, I don't know either. Do we know where that comes from? Clean sheet?
You're the old timers.
So we lost. We lost to.
We are the old timers.
How are you doing, T? How are you doing? Apparently, Arsenal lost to Man United and Chelsea in a week.
I'm really disappointed. I'm gutted.
You
and-
gutted?
Yeah, I'm
You
really
down?
upset by it. Last time we lost to Chelsea, I had to get consoled by you two after a terrible defeat. And
We
the same
did
thing has
console
happened
you.
again. You did console me after the 2004. when we lost to
2004.
Chelsea.
You had a bad week that week.
I had a
2004.
bad week then
Shut
as
up.
well.
Remind us what happened that week
That week, that week we lost to Man United and Chelsea.
in the
So
cup
week.
semi-final. In the cup
So the
semi-final, yeah, we went to Villa Park.
We went to
But
Villa
I remember
Park.
the most upset you were that day was on the way home. I turned the radio down just at the finishing point of the Grand National, and you had the right ump all the way from Milton Keynes to Newport Fagnall. You had the ump because you didn't know who'd won.
What'd you turn it down for?
I wasn't listening to it. I was talking to
I
someone.
was.
You were the only one listening to it. I didn't know you were in the back. I was going, what is it? Oh, horse racing. I hate horse racing.
Yeah.
And you actually went like this. You went, don't know who won the National now.
As if the day hasn't been bad
I
enough.
thought there was a kid in the back. I said, are we nearly there
Where
yet?
are we there?
I
Where are
was
we
young
there?
at the time. I think I was just 20 then.
Have an
wasn't
ice cream.
20, yeah, you were only 20 then. That's right. So yeah, you had a bad week that week, and we lost to Man U at Villa Park 1-0, and then we had a big game. It was a big game. It was actually a big game.
That
wasn't
was
it?
a
It was
huge
the
game.
quarter-final of the Champions League, and we
Yeah.
cocked that up as well.
We did,
Massively.
And we got knocked out, and that was the lowest you'd ever been.
It was my lowest as a football fan, and then we went into the pub afterwards, and
You actually said to me, "You're going to have to talk me through this."
both of you guys.
There was only the three of us who
We
went,
went at
wasn't it?
Weatherspoon. There was only everyone else
Everyone
not
else
goes to
left.
drink. Everyone else went off,
Yeah.
and I was left with you two.
That was even worse because we were in the Weatherspoons because the normal pub was closed down.
So it was going completely
right,
wrong.
that's
And then
right,
it
yeah.
started raining.
If there's not enough
Fluores-
misery.
Fluorescent lights. You're
Yeah.
not allowed to smoke,
Yeah.
and we had to torch hire through. What did we say to you?
Well, what you did actually, which got us all laughing, because you told a story of when you was a West Ham, after the West Ham game in
1980.
1980.
On the
Well, however
platform
bad
at
the
Wembley.
week is,
It can never be
it's
this
never
bad.
as bad as 1980.
When West Ham, your people, Imran, your people made this young boy cry.
Well, a West Ham technician is grinning all over his face, partly because you remember. Well, you can't actually remember the 1980 Cup final, can you? Surely.
I was -8.
He was born in 1988. So this is a little bit for you then. And we played West Ham at Wembley. We lost 1-0. And I went 2 hours. Did you get that game in?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
I went 2 hours early. I was 2 hours early, and there was a lot of charging about beforehand, because in those days everyone used to fight each other, didn't they? Or they used to run around shouting. So we're outside, and the West Ham fans apparently ran towards us, but I didn't see any, because there were just people running everywhere.
running, yeah.
Someone ran into my flag and snapped it, so I had a stump of a flag.
Someone ran into your
They
flag.
ran into the end of my flag. They might be killed. I don't know. I wasn't looking at the time, so my flag snapped off. So I had a stump of a flag.
Yeah.
And
how old were you then?
14.
Oh.
And we lost 1-0. And I'm sitting on a platform at Wembley Park, having nearly been crushed to death in that tunnel. Do you remember the old tunnel?
West Ham Masses.
Yeah,
I think it's the
really,
same tunnel now, isn't it?
well, it's bigger now, and you don't get crushed to death,
Right.
because they don't let everybody in the ground in it at the same
You have to
time, like
queue
they
up
used
for
to in
4
the old
hours.
days, and hope that some of them might die. And I went on a platform, and these West Ham fans came over, and I thought, this is I'm going to get my head kicked in as well. This is going to top it. I've got a stump of a flag. We've lost 1-0.
You could have attacked him
We
with
haven't had a
stump of
shot.
flag,
If
yeah.
that rings any bells. We haven't had a shot, and now I'm going to get my head kicked in. And they stood over me, thinking, should we kick his head in? He's only 14. And then they realised that my eyes I was welling up. I was trying not to cry in front of them. And one of them shouted down the platform at Wembley Park, "Here! This one's crying! This one's crying!"
It did cheer us up, though, didn't it? It cheered you up.
It cheered me
It
up.
made us
And
feel a
then
lot
they
better.
roared with laughter.
Yeah, they did.
I made their day.
Made my day.
And then another bloke come over, another West Ham come over, and he said to me, don't worry, son, you'll win on Wednesday. Don't worry, you'll win on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And we played Valencia in the Cup on Wednesday. Lost on penalties after a 0-0 draw.
Sound familiar?
And then do you remember after that? Because we had to come back and play 2 league games. We played Middlesbrough and Wolves, and we
Yeah.
had to win them both to get in the UEFA Cup. And I think we lost the second one.
beat Wolves.
We beat Wolves, and then
And we
lost
lost to
5-0 to
Middlesbrough,
Middlesbrough away.
So we didn't even call it up for Europe.
We didn't
Sad.
qualify for Europe at the end of that.
Because I've only been an Arsenal fan for the last couple of weeks. Is this what it's always like? You're saying it was like this back in the 80s. It's like this
Palace
now.
before that, yeah.
I'm back off south of the
Hey,
river.
we're not in administration, you know.
Well, no, fair
We've got
enough.
an award-winning stadium. In fact, next week I'm going to read out all the awards that the stadium's won.
Have we
Because
won
that's the only
awards?
thing- Yeah, we've won loads
Best
of awards.
ground,
Yeah.
always the best ground.
Best tourism
Best grass.
destination. or
Right.
something.
Right.
Grass. I'd like some
Best
grass.
grass. You
now.
know, I didn't think
And
we
no
won the best
trophies.
ground this year, but I thought the groundsman gone off. And he...
Oh no, we won Groundsman of the Year 4 years in a row, and then he got signed by Real Madrid.
Right. Oh, okay. Wembley could have done with it for a knockdown fee.
Post, yeah,
They got him on a
At the
free.
end of every season, in
He went
Gardner,
over there and went, well, what you want to do is grow grass and
in
mow it.
Gardener's Weekly, it was like, same as the Vieira interviews. It was like, are you going to leave to go for Real Madrid? No, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to let the grass grow.
See
under my
Vieira? See
feet.
Vieira at the weekend?
Did he play?
Came on
One
for
foot.
Man City.
Did he get a
Came
yellow
on.
card?
He's looking a bit beefier.
No, really. He got a
Carrying
yellow
some
card as
timber.
well.
A little bit.
Did he get booked?
I don't know if he got
Who
booked.
did he kick? George Boateng, for old time's sake. the 2 mobility scooters on the pitch at
Oh,
the same
welcome
time.
back.
Well, they're having races. Come on, George, I'll race you.
No,
It's a
he's-
corner. I'm not going up with you. No, I ain't bothering.
He's just looking a bit wider. He's looking a bit wider, Pat.
Has
You
he
know.
got the same short maker as Sol Campbell? Sol Campbell, did we talk about this the other week? Sol
Should Sol
Campbell's
Campbell have
shorts.
played at the bridge, do you think?
I don't know what you're talking about. What's the bridge? Nothing happened yesterday. You see the
You were going
size
to
of
go.
Sol
You told
Campbell.
me you were going over there.
I was going to go, and I realised, am I going to go and get spat on and lose 2-0?
Spat on? Who's going to
Spat
spit
on?
on you?
Chelsea fans.
Is that what you
Do
think
they-
happens at away
That's what happens
games?
at away games. I read it in a book.
First
That's
thing-
what we did to the
first
Villa
thing,
fans.
Wear an anorak.
Chelsea
Villa
fans, they don't
fans.
spit on anyone over there these days. They go to Harry Ramsden's and eat chips.
Well, it's either go
And
over
then they
there
admire
and
the
lose
hotel.
2-0.
Wow, look, that's a hotel, apparently. I've never been in one of those.
Yes, go there and lose 2-0, sit on my sofa and...
Yeah, we
smoke
might have won,
trees.
though. That's why you go to away games, because
Might
you
have won.
might win.
We might have won.
Yeah, if we
I
take,
figured
any,
if
we take any defenders over there with us. What are we defending like in the moment?
Oh, don't-
Now, tell me why Clichy left the post.
Because
Don't
he's-
tell me he went over to have a chat with Cesc because they're about to take a corner.
Well, why did
He
Song
sees
let
things
him
out
go?
of people.
Song-
It
Song-
wasn't Song's fault. It was Clichy's fault.
What, he's following Drogba and he's looking at him and not the ball.
Well,
Clichy's following the invisible
according to
man.
Andy
Clichy's
Gray on the-
seen
on the
only what
last
Clichy
word.
can see.
Yeah.
It's Arshavin's fault.
Oh, Shabin, who's he meant to be marking?
He didn't mark Carvalho. Not that it would have made any difference at all.
He can climb on his back.
Yeah, he marks people. He just tickles them on the nuts. Puts them off their jump.
Yeah.
He wasn't marking Carvalho, so Clichy and Fabregas are going. Clichy's going to Cesc. He's got to tell the boss, right? He's got to tell Jesus. Jesus. No one's marking Carvalho.
It was Cesk's fault.
No one's marking Carvalho. No one's marking Carvalho.
Sir.
No one will listen to Clichy. Because I just don't know why, but I imagine his voice goes like this. And only Cesc can understand him because he's known him the longest. Shavin's got no idea what he's on about because he actually talks like this.
He can't. He doesn't make a noise like that. He's
That's how he
5'4".
That's exactly what he makes sounds like. It's unexpected. That's the thing about
Clichy,
it.
Ah, I see,
it's
right.
Cesk's fault. Clichy saw a
So
vision.
he's going out. So Clichy actually left his post probably saying to Almunia, I'm leaving me post. Went over to Cesc, said, my lord, Arshavin's not marking Carvalho. Like that, at which point, and then Arshavin went, I better mark Carvalho. Mark Carvalho. Went and marked Carvalho. By then the corner come over.
His nuts.
Obviously, Terry won it in the air. Because we haven't got anyone who can beat Terry in the air. No. Drogba thought, that's going to go to the far post. It's quite a near posty flick-on-y sort of thing. I'll go over that way. I'll just wander over that way. When he got there was no one there. Clichy's not there. His marker's obviously not bothering going with him. The goalkeeper's not come to him. I've never seen a tap in from a yard with nobody near him at all. There should have been 2 Arsenal players crushing him.
Why did Clichy
or at
leave
least
the back
hanging off him?
post?
Because they go and talk to Jesus.
That was the thing. I mean, you watched it go. You watched it happen in slow motion. Remember that when Ronald Koeman was going to take that free kick and he's going to kick it, and everyone else knew this.
We all knew,
apart from
Dave.
Big Dave.
It's the same thing again. Clichy goes wandering off. You go, who are you talking to?
What's happened to
Don't go over there.
What's happened?
And he was at fault for the second goal as well.
When he saw Drogba,
I don't know what happened
and he
there
started to go over towards him, and then he started following Anelka instead.
They could have shepherded him out.
And then they all said, Anelka's made a good run there. He's taken all the Arsenal defence with him. Anelka can't really believe that he's made a bog-standard diagonal run.
Offside.
And the entire back four have followed him. They've all gone with me. To Drogba's wandered out to the touchline. No one anywhere near him. 2 of them saw him, and both of them ran a mark.
In 2 weeks, we've had big, burly Wayne Rooney tiptoeing behind the Nielsen.
But while
and then we got Drogba doing the same.
Doing the same thing. But when Drogba got in the box... Could he not have been? Why did Clichy run past him?
It was a little bit weird, but it was the same weird as Clichy not tackling Jason Park the other week.
That was
just
weird.
running alongside him.
Now, I've got a theory about it. I think Clichy's been replaced by some sort of replicant who has been operated by Mike, who sits over there and supports Spot Tottenham.
He's not bad at football, but not as good as the real thing.
Producer of the Spurs show. I say producer, presenter. Yeah. Someone is working a replicant Clichy. What has happened to the left back? Who we actually thought, because the comparison between him and Ashley Cole, I'd say, was embarrassing. And 2 years ago, he was in the PFA Team of the Year, voted for by the Premier League footballers.
He's invincible. He's got an
the injury obviously the injury hurt him, and he's not quite, mentally there yet.
But the injury doesn't make you leave your back post. That common sense makes you leave your back post and go running after a mirage that you've seen in the stands.
I'm saying he sort of doesn't seem to know where he is. It's all about positioning, isn't it, at the back?
Should we have played Sol Campbell? Would Sol Campbell not have taken charge in there, put Vermaelen at left back?
He would have taken out Fat Frank on the halfway line for the second goal.
Sol would at least have been making sure people were marked, wouldn't he?
Sorry, suddenly Sol Campbell is the saviour.
I'm saying that we need better
defenders.
At
left back
I'm looking at our squad, and I make Sol the 3rd best defender in the squad.
Sorry, I think it's about cover. I think it's about having midfielders who sit in front of the back four. Every time we get caught on the break 3 times.
Song was caught quite, but he had just won the ball. And then Arshavin lost it on the edge of their box.
We keep getting done on the break, so I'm suggesting the defence that they've got Drogba and Nelka running.
Who's in charge at the back then? When they see Drogba on the right wing and Vermaelen's going out that way, when Vermaelen goes, and when Vermaelen thinks, actually, I won't go and get Drogba, even though he's on the ball and he's their best striker, I'll go in the middle, stop the cross. Drogba's not going to cross. Drogba's not going to cross. He's going to walk. He's going to run directly towards Almunia. Almunia would actually have lain down and let him run over him.
He's trying to put his hands in the way.
In the same way that horses don't run over.
Trying to put his hands in front of his face. Incidentally, about Almunia, have you seen that? Did you get that email I sent you this week? The photo of Almunia and his poodle.
Yeah, he's got. Well, is it a poodle? Is it a Yorkshire Terrier in a pink coat? But you're suggesting that makes him a bad keeper, are you? His dog.
I think it definitely contributes to his bad keeping.
Well, as you know,
his dog would do better in goal.
As you said last week, I've changed my mind about Almunia.
I was about to say
to the point where I would be happier if you were in goal, Al, than if Manuel Almunia.
Your boy
there.
Shanked another one in the second half as well.
Honestly, I'm looking at him now. I've just turned completely
humiliated.
Hey, well, apparently
sitting in front of your
TV on the commentary, they were saying that Arsene tried to buy a different keeper on Monday. He was after Sorensen of Stoke or something.
It's a bit late now, isn't it?
Yeah, that was the last day of the window, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The day after the Man United game.
That doesn't. Well, obviously
the penny dropped.
Yeah.
I'm a big Wenger apologist, but if it's taken him that long to notice that Almunia is not a very good goalkeeper.
Natives.
He doesn't do defenders.
Did you get your letter? Did you get your email today?
People behind him must be going, Almunia! You clown! Get the keeper, Wenger!
Did you get your email?
Everyone goes, Wenger's blind. He's obviously deaf as well. What email?
The one that you get from the official supporters one, Arsene saying, we don't need any players, thanks for your support. And you just scream at yours today. Did you not get it?
No.
I didn't get that
Did
one
you
yet.
read in the Mirror? I know you like the Mirror. Did you read in there that Wenger... I always wondered how Drogba was missed by Wenger, right? In the same way that I wondered why Gallas was missed by Wenger when he went to Chelsea.
Yeah. How anybody French is missed by Wenger.
Basically.
Yeah,
Doesn't Wenger is first dibs on the French league? That's the rules. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
So he was missed, right? By the time everyone had really clocked onto him, you know, like Chelsea and everyone, he was already... Where was he? Marseille?
Yeah.
And he was worth an absolute fortune in a market dominated by Abramovich, right? So how was he missed? Then I read in the Mirror that Wenger had a look at him when he was at Le Mans, driving really fast, playing in the second division, and said, they want too much money for him. Do you want to know how much they wanted for him?
Do it.
$1.5 million.
100 grand.
Oh! Yeah, but at the time, that was a lot of money.
And at the time,
That was a lot of dough.
we had signed Francis Jeffers for 8 million quid, who had 1.5 ankles.
Box in the box.
He'd left half of an ankle in Liverpool.
And we didn't sign Didier Drogba.
And we didn't sign Didier Drogba for 100 grand. And we had a bloke who was our best player who would not fly to away games in Europe.
No.
And the other one we had was Carnu, who was a gifted genius, but really didn't have the stomach for the fight. I always
Not really
felt.
the brute strength
Or the passport.
that you would want.
No.
Yeah, we missed out. Well, we missed out on a few people,
We
haven't we?
badly missed out there.
Why aren't we spending this? We've got 2 billion.
We haven't got any
billionaires
money.
on
We haven't
our
got any
board.
money.
Why aren't they spending the dough?
They
out of interest.
haven't put any money in.
I'm going to piss down
Well-
Stan Kroenke's neck.
Nick.
Until something,
tell him it's
something
raining.
happens. Tell him it is raining, you fool.
And then after that at Chelsea, apparently someone sent an email saying that we had 600 passes and they had 300 passes. Or
Yeah, but we had 600 passes outside.
But a lot of them were
I
those
mean,
crosses.
honestly, I thought we battered them. But then Ancelotti afterwards said,
In what sense?
in that we continually had the ball and we were around their penalty area the whole time and they had to defend, which they do quite well.
How many shots
The
did we have?
goalkeeper was excellent.
2, 3?
No, we had about 15 shots.
Sammy
but
Nasri
not-
decided to bank
that one.
that one.
Shoot.
Oh, that
it was.
should have been.
It reminded me of Zulu.
please.
You ever seen Zulu when they say you don't shoot until you see the whites of their eyes?
Bang!
It was. Just get in there. Do you know,
I had an
shoot?
email from someone that says Sammy Nasri looks like Liza Minnelli. Bank, Liza! Bank!
So we had one shot. We had one
Never.
shot.
We didn't have many
We never
shots.
Our
say
shaving
bank.
was one
I
shot.
was having shots and then we had the free kick as well.
And of
But,
course, Alexandre
average.
Dimitri Song Belong, as he said before we started, he had his customary pile driver, which went high and
Yeah, he
wide.
can't
Yeah.
shoot, but he did look good when he arrived. He had a massive beige beanie over all of his hair. And a pair
Is that
of
right?
headphones that looked like Formula One tyres.
Like
on
he
the
was
side
going
of his
down
head.
Electric Avenue.
All that was missing, was a great big
I thought he was a little
reefer.
bit off the pace, actually. I thought he was a little bit off the pace.
I thought he was off the pace.
Just
I
slightly.
thought our midfield absolutely outplayed their midfield.
Well, but... in
I'm
the
having a
sense-
look at them and I'm thinking, how are they top? They're not that good.
What does Ballack actually do
Well, they're
in the game?
effective. They're effective.
Yeah,
is what
but
they
I
are.
wouldn't. I'm looking at Song and Diaby and Fabregas. I mean, that's the best midfield trio in the league. They're outstanding. We've got good centre backs. We are woeful at left back, goalkeeper, and up front. We haven't got any strikers.
No, we
I
haven't
haven't
got
got
any
any strikers.
No.
And
And
we played the two top teams in Europe, and we haven't had a centre forward, any sort of a striker at all.
Well, there you
So
have it.
2 years ago,
There you
when
have it.
Anelka left Bolton, why he ever went to Bolton, I've no idea. So we let him go to Bolton. And then why didn't we get him before, when he was going to Bolton, why don't we just go, let's have him?
We could have had Drogba and
We
Elka.
could have had Drogba and Anelka.
Yeah.
But then we wouldn't have had Thierry.
Right, well, we
No,
would have-
after Bolton. No, we sold Anelka, got the training ground.
We'd have sold
Oh, you
him,
mean then?
Get it
we'd have
back.
sold
Oh, we
an
would've had
Elka.
Drogba.
We'd have sold an Elka and got Drogba for 100 grand. But never mind, that's probably lies from the Mirror. I don't believe them.
Yeah.
But we could have had Anelka 2 seasons ago. But, he didn't know. To be fair to him, Eduardo was lethal back in the day before he had his foot snapped off. And he got his foot snapped off about a week after the window shut, didn't he?
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, we had lost Van Persie and Rosicky in January, and
what's the likelihood of losing those two
And
to
Anelka
injury?
was available, and they went and got him 15 million.
But Arsene doesn't like to spend money, does he?
Well,
I mean,
if you'd spent
or has
that
he
money
just
then,
not got him.
we'd have had 2 years out of him already, and he'd have played a lot of games and scored a lot of goals.
Yeah.
He's an outstanding centre forward.
We haven't got any money.
Is that what it is? We haven't got any dough.
Well, we have got money. We've got 30 million, but we know what that 30 million's earmarked for.
What?
Cesk's new contract. That's
Yeah.
what that 30 million is transfer money and contract.
Did someone say
I see.
Cesk's
So
replacement?
No,
Cesk's
no,
new
no. We
contract.
got to pay him his
All
wages.
of that money is going to Cesc Fabregas.
Well, there must
All
be-
of it.
There must be some more.
All of it is going to Cesc
3
Fabregas.
million a game.
30 million. Yeah, but we have to pay back 18 million a season on building a roof or what. You know, it was expensive, that ground.
Yeah.
We could have had a roof. I know you said it's
Really?
another 100 million, but if
We could have had a roof.
Why do you want a
Cardiff
roof?
cost 175 because against Everton it was really cold.
For that reason alone.
Yeah, it was rather chilly, yeah.
For the Everton game.
We're on a diabolical run, by the way, that started against Everton when Pinar went through and Nasri,
That's the
Liza Minnelli
third
was the only
breakaway
one
goal
near
that
him.
we've let
And
in
all right, we
last
did
week
beat
and a half.
Bolton twice, but we were 2-0 down at home to them, weren't we? And that was pony. We're letting in goals left, right and centre. We got stuffed by Stoke.
Oh, cheer up.
No. And we got done by Man U and
What's
done by
happening?
Chelsea.
He's got to you, isn't he?
So
Say it. He's got
what's
to
happened? So I knew Ty would be unhappy. I brought you a present, T. I knew you'd be disappointed.
Bought him a present?
Yeah, I bought him a present.
Cheer him up.
I bought him a present. I bought him an Adidas T-shirt to cheer him
Oh,
up. Again, we need a webcam.
that's nice. Try and describe it, actually.
It's an Adidas trainer with a really, really angry bug in it, and I saw it and it reminded me of you.
Get out on the website, you'll see.
His lips are bigger than mine, just.
Now we have
Thank
this.
you.
This is the It's Up for Grabs Now Arsenal podcast. We have a promotion going on with Audible. I've never heard of Audible till this week, but apparently they're brilliant. They're an audio book company. Go to audible.co.uk/up for grabs, and you can get a free 2-week trial and download 2 audio books absolutely free. And one of them could be, if you so choose, my stand-up DVD. Urban Trauma, which hilariously on the Audible site, not that I want to obviously diss Audible because they're doing a promotion with us, is described as the new DVD from the star of Jonathan Creek, release date 1998, but it's available on there along with 40,000 other books that you might prefer. But yeah. So go to audible.co.uk/up for grabs, get a 2-week trial, download 2 audio books. Well, you can email us upforgrabs@playbackmedia.co.uk. We're on Twitter, and you can get the Up for Grabs app on your phone, www.bit.ly/Arsenal app. So now.
My mate who's a Tottenham fan, said he was going to download the app because he loves the podcast.
Really?
Yeah, I thought it was
We're
fantastic.
still getting. I've seen the iTunes reviews, and we are getting quite a lot of Spurs fans going on,
Having a go.
giving us
Having a go, 1-star reviews.
Yeah, this is a terrible podcast.
It's fantastic.
all about the
It's all about the Arsenal. It's got us Up for Grabs now,
Did
the
you know
Arsenal
they used to
podcast.
play in Woolwich?
South London, 1919, it's the Henry Norris.
I will remind you, they used to play in Woolwich, you know.
Jeez. Yeah. No, I just thought it was nice. Ian, if you're listening, enjoy.
Now, I've had an email from Tracy Hayworth, who says, "Hello, chaps. Got to say I love the show. Frequently makes me laugh out loud, which is good. In that guffawing sort of way that makes fellow commuters look at you as though you might have a head in your bag."
I don't think I've ever heard a laugh
I
like
was
that.
with you all the way to that. I don't know who does
might
a
have a-
serial killer laugh. I just want to tell you, while I was at the Man U game the other week, to try and lift myself out of the despondency I was sinking into. Yeah, despondency is a good word. I spent around half an hour trying to fit full name into a tune. Didn't quite manage the whole name, but I did come up with Alex Dimitri's song belong to the tune of "Love Lift Us Up Where We Belong."
Oh, that's
Alex
fantastic.
Dimitri's song belong.
That's genius. Nice work.
Another word. Alex Dimitri's song belong.
I like the
That is
idea
gold.
of Wenger
That
turning
is
up and
gold.
lifting him up and taking him out at the end. And everyone going, go, girl.
Song belong. Not one. She doesn't think the crowd will pick it up because she's worried about the harmonies between Bill Medley and Jennifer Warnes.
worried about the harm-
Who's going to do the harmonies? You
Yeah.
could split the crowd in half like they do at pantomimes.
Complicated, don't it?
Bring out a song sheet, but it might be. Well, Ian, quite right. She says might be overcomplicated.
Let's try that for Liverpool. Come on.
Alex
We'll give it a go.
Dimitri's song belong.
None of our songs have ever caught on, have they?
None. None. I wanted Seskis everywhere.
No, you know the one I remember.
Seskis everywhere
He
was a
didn't
good
like
one.
that. Alan
Seskis
didn't-
everywhere. I invented Seskis
No, you
everywhere.
did
not.
not.
Don't try and claim it
off
now.
the ground.
Oh, excuse me, I
Seskis
texted
everywhere.
you that outrageous.
No, I invented. You did a lyric for it,
No,
which is crap.
no.
What, all four corners of the ground?
Yeah.
That's quite good.
I don't know how he does it.
Outrageous.
I only know it's true. It's something I couldn't believe it.
Hi-ho, Sylvan
And
Wiltord
then
never caught on
he
either, did it?
track
Hi-ho,
back
Sylvan
and
Wiltord. Nothing with Sylvan
Hi-ho,
Wiltord.
Sylvan Wiltord.
Do you remember the song sheet?
Scoring all the...
goals,
That's the
isn't it?
trouble. When we let people do the extra lyric and they let it down.
Do you remember the song sheet they gave us once? They had Christopher
Yeah,
Ray to
I-
the tune of Christopher Ray.
Christopher Ray. Christopher Ray. That was never going to catch on. Yeah, my favourite one was Ying Tong, Ying Tong, Ying Tong, Ying Tong, Ying Tong, Inamoto.
That was fantastic.
How long did that last?
Ying Tong, Ying Tong, Ying Tong, Ying Tong, Ying Tong, Inamoto. Do you remember Inamoto?
We tried it, didn't work.
Inamoto went to the World Cup in 2002, playing for the host nation Japan, and he was outstanding. His form was superb, and everyone said Wenger was a mug for letting him go. And then he disappeared.
Went to Italy, didn't
She says, Tracy Hayworth says that she's done other tunes. She did she did a whole verse and a chorus about the side that beat Tottenham in the cup semi-final at Old Trafford to the tune of Like a Bird by Nelly Furtado.
Nice.
One about Hleb to the Hovis theme. And also she did a song about Oleg Luzhny to the tune of the Hokey Cokey. Oh, Oleg Luzhny! Oh, Oleg
Was there a
Luzhny!
Lee Dixon one to the tune of If I Was a Rich Man?
If I was Lee
If I was Lee Dixon.
I would never use my left foot. None of them will ever see the light of day because they're actually rubbish as football chants. Now, she says also, she signs off by saying, do you think Sammy Nasri looks like Liza Minnelli? And I think that she's got a point.
A little bit.
A little bit, Liza. A little bit of Liza. She says, Thomas Vermeulen looks like Jonathan Rhys-Myers, but I don't know who that is.
He's the guy who played Henry VIII on the TV in that series.
What?
Henry VIII. That series.
That series, Henry VIII on the TV.
Yeah. He played Henry VIII, and he looks a bit like Thomas Vermeulen.
Does he? Thomas Vermeulen? Henry VIII?
I know it's a stretch.
Who does
Henry VIII in his
Who does
lean
Almunia
years.
look like? We haven't got one.
He looks like
Almunia.
Sir Thomas Cranbourne, who was in Henry VIII.
Almunia
make
looks
that
like
up.
every barman at every gay bar in Soho.
Well, you would know.
You're damn right I know all the gay bars. They're the best bars in town. Everyone knows that. Tinkerbell apparently looks like Bingo from the Banana Splits. Google it, she says.
Yeah.
Tinkerbell played well when he came on.
Thank
He
you.
did. I like the way he was moving about.
I like Tinkerbell.
We all like Tinkerbell now. We feel bad.
You can hear
Come
the
to see it, Bouet.
You can hear the away fans. You can hear the away fans there singing Emmanuel Leboué to the Seven Nation Army song. That was good. The
Seven Nation Army song. you
White
gotta do it with.
Stripes.
Oh, the White Stripes. Yeah. Emmanuel Leboué.
We like that tune.
Yeah.
Now, Daryl Booth has emailed us. He says, hello, gentlemen, and Tayo. After,
Okay, I see what he did there.
Take it up with Daryl.
You're meant to be cheering him up.
He's
I did to Daryl.
he's our expert Photoshop person. Yeah, we have got a up for grabs Facebook page. Go on there, join a group, and post amusing things. Don't post things about how annoying it is that we haven't got a centre forward, how annoying it is that we lose. Post amusing things. Someone has posted, for example, a Photoshop picture of Harry Redknapp in a jail cell.
That's just funny.
That's
just
really,
funny.
really funny.
Yeah.
Even though it's a really bad bit of photoshopping,
Yeah, it'll
it's
do.
still...
You get the general
You
gist,
just
don't you?
you click on it, you have a little
Harry
smile,
Redknapp. Harry in
and
the
then you go
jail.
on with your
Right.
day.
That'll do. Yeah, we're not
So
interested.
it's one of them sort of jail cells that they always have in westerns, you know, like it's in the corner of the room.
Yeah.
And the bloke in there keeps talking to the sheriff.
Yeah, there's been
and the
too
sheriff
much-
has to say, shut up.
There's been too much negativity on the site recently.
Yeah,
so
there's a lot of
that's,
negativity. Daryl says he's gone through the team. I've opted for one-word thoughts on each player. Stuart Little, wasteful. That's outrageous.
Almunia shit.
Is that racial? No, as well.
What's Walcott?
There is a four-letter word.
What's
I'm not even going to ask you to guess because I know you're way ahead. Do you like your present, by the way?
I like my present. I keep looking at it. Yeah, I keep looking at it. It's very nice. I'm going to put it on later.
All I got
He
was
says
a Winter
Nicholas-
Slag Away programme.
All you've got? What do you mean all you've got?
That's
All
a
you've
badge of
got-
honour, pal. What do you want, Stoney?
Listen,
All
I loved
you've
it.
got-
I loved it. It's out. Stop it.
T-shirt
I'm
is
joking.
just out of Selfridges. Is they got racks of them.
You
The
nick-
Winter's Lag programme.
It's nice. You nicked my
You'd
song
have to
lyrics.
burgle every house in Winter's Lag and you might find one.
Yeah, that's right. It's difficult, that.
Yeah.
Time consuming.
Yeah.
So go on. What's the names? What's Walcott?
Walcott.
Young. Oh, that's four.
Isn't it? Oh, I don't know what we're going to do with Theo.
Yeah, what are we going to do
What
with
are we
Theo?
going to
He's
do
only
about
20 years old.
Theo?
Can people let it go? He's young.
Yeah, Jack Welsh has gone on loan
To Bolton.
to
the
Bolton to
bench.
get a lot of experience.
Yeah.
Arsene said, I'm only going to let Jack Wilshere go on loan. It's important he goes on loan, but he's only going to go somewhere that he plays. And he hasn't played, has he?
No.
He
What?
sits on the bench.
He's in the Bolton midfield. He's not going to touch the ball.
He sits on the bench watching Bolton Wanderers play.
Yeah.
And in what way is that good for Jack's
Educational.
football education? Now, apparently he was a bit stubborn and he didn't want to go to... He had the chance to go to Celtic or Rangers. He didn't want to go
wanted
and
to play
play
in the
for
Premier
them.
League.
He wanted to play in the Premier League.
Yeah, yeah.
He could have gone to a championship club like Middlesbrough with Gordon Strachan or one of those sides. Do you think he has made a mistake?
Well, Bolton.
It's not really his decision to
It
make,
is his
though,
decision.
Is it?
No, totally it
Arsene
is.
pats him on the head and tells him where to go.
Well, Arsene said, well, maybe you're right.
Bolton aren't
and as you
quite
know,
as bad as they used to
as
be.
you know,
are
Arsene is never wrong. Oh, hang on. No, I'd have made
Oh, here we
his
go.
restless. I just put it out there.
15
I just
weeks
put it
in.
out there.
Oh,
It did
listen
cross
to
my
this.
mind on the
15
way
weeks-
in.
The Crystal Palace fifth columnist has started.
So
Here
I'm
it
still
comes.
some doubt.
Still a believer.
Here it comes.
But I've just had a really bad day of it, and all this false bonhomie from you two is not getting
False?
It's not false. We're enjoying ourselves.
False.
I'm happy to be in
You
your
weeped
company.
into your cup today.
False.
Yeah, that was
Bonhomie.
yesterday. That was today.
I was annoyed. I was over it by half time.
What was that tweet you put up about? I'm going over to Stamford Bridge.
I'm going to go Stamford Bridge to Mark
no one else
Drogba
will.
because no one else will. You'd be amazed how many tweets back I got from Arsenal fans going, and while you're there, will you stab Terry in the eye, punch Ashley Cole? Just the list went on and on. People wanted to inflict violence on that Chelsea side. That's the sort of thing they invoke. I don't know how you feel about Chelsea, but I'm disappointed that they appear able to dominate English football for the foreseeable future.
Well, United.
They're big
are
sides.
close to it.
Should we go
United-
£600 million in debt and buy a new squad?
It's still never the way.
David Villa
Not a
and
new squad.
It's still never the way.
and
We
three or
don't
four
need
players.
Who do
two
you
or
need? Who
three.
do we need?
Goalkeeper.
Goalkeeper.
Goalkeeper, forward.
Chesney.
Centre
We've got
forward.
Chesney at
Yeah, we've got
Brentford.
a 19-year-old.
19-year-old.
He's going to be the best goalkeeper in the world when we're 60.
Listen,
So
we're
is
gonna
Richard
win
Wright.
I think 2035, we're really up for the Carling Cup.
Team of the future.
Alex Dimitri Somilon.
Team of the future again.
Yeah.
And he wins the ball. And he plays it short. Doesn't overcomplicate. He plays the way he's facing. Nothing flash. He cannot shoot. He's got dreadlocks. Alex Dimitri Somilon.
I want you to do that on Wednesday. Don't
Abraham
bottle it.
Grant, his wife, says that he,
Where's this come
when
from?
asked why was he in a massage parlour, says, and I quote, Abraham likes a massage.
Yes, that's what she said. Likes a massage. He must be a bit tense watching Portsmouth every
What
week.
a marriage.
Yeah.
There are husbands all over Britain going, what a wife.
Well done, Mrs.
What
Grant.
Mrs. Grant.
You need another
Stepped up
massage,
to the
Abraham.
plate then.
I'll book you a massage.
Has there ever been in your? Has there ever been a scandal involving any Arsenal players?
Peter's story and the
Story
porno
ended up
tapes.
in jail. Tony Adams.
Tony
ended up in
Adams went to
jail.
prison.
Oh, you're not Tony Adams.
I
That's
thought
boring,
the
that
John,
one.
in the John Terry thing, maybe that might, but it's only going to work the other way. It's like it did with Adams in '91. He got sent to prison, and everyone who hates Arsenal, which is everyone, I hope that it would destabilise us, and he was that would be the end of the title chat, and it just made him stronger. And I think it will happen the same with Chelsea now. I think they'll go on and win the league.
Well, they were
John
strong.
Terry's,
Only Rooney can stop them.
Only Rooney can stop them.
John Terry's too thick and too stupid to
Thick
let it
and
affect him.
stupid.
Thick
That
and
is
stupid.
quite thick.
He's
isn't
so
it, really?
thick. We need another word
So
for it.
thick, he's stupid.
Thick square.
There's his head.
They were singing "You're Not Captain Anymore."
Bring back El Clichy.
They started
Who
singing
has
about "You're Not
kidnapped
English
El
You're
anymore."
not English anymore. No, I heard
Ridiculous.
that,
Who's English?
Yeah, they were
That's
singing that.
what
Arsenal.
Chelsea-
We were singing "You're Not Captain Anymore." To
Chelsea,
You're Not
yeah, the
English
home
anymore.
fans
You're
were
Not
singing
English
English.
anymore.
Oh, but there wasn't a forest of arms doing the Sieg Heil all down the touchline that there was in the old days, was there? Over at the bridge.
Those
Remember
were
that?
the
Do you remember
days.
that? What stand was it? It's the East stand was the new stand that bankrupted them in the 70s, wasn't it?
Yeah, the big one.
The
three-story
opposite
one.
to that.
Yeah.
Not the shed, right? But the opposite to that was the full NF. That was the full Sieg Heil, Sieg Heil.
There's a lot.
Hundreds of arms doing that.
Where I used to live
That's
in
what
South
it used to be
London.
like at the
Where I used to live in South London, you'd always see CFC followed by NF as a standard.
CFC NF. Yeah,
on the estate
absolutely.
walls.
There was them and Rangers and Linfield, wasn't it?
Yeah, you wonder why no one's
The
supports
Blue
Chelsea.
Army, the Avatars.
But they're not the Smurfs,
That
are
was a
they?
slow burner. Now,
It took a second. Yeah.
Tottenham Hotspur, we haven't mentioned. Harry Redknapp did a rousing speech at the weekend. He said Arsenal are faltering. Third place is not out of the question. They were fourth at the time.
Yeah.
They're now fifth. So shut up, Harry.
Yeah.
Concentrate on your own game. Stop worrying about the Arsenal.
I watched a match yesterday with a Spurs fan, actually. It was ugly.
Did you?
Well, he didn't even have anything to say, though. He was trying to
I
get...
thought you were going to the bridge, though.
No, I was going to go, but it was cold.
You watched Arsenal play Chelsea. Well, I watched Arsenal play Chelsea away with a Chelsea fan a couple of years ago, and I nearly hit him. And actually, afterwards, he said to me, I wanted you to hit me.
I wanted you.
That's what he said to me. I wanted you. I would have liked it if you'd hit me. And then he said to a mate of mine, he goes, this is what I live for. This is what I live for.
What?
Winding up Arsenal
Trying to
supporters.
provoke people into
I
hitting
thought,
him.
oh, this is desperate. So I didn't hit him, but I picked up his mobile and threw it miles.
That'll do. That'll upset him more.
He showed me a picture
I went to
of
the
the Chelsea
Chelsea
badge.
I went to the Chelsea
Never
away
watch
game.
a game with
Which one?
rival fans.
I went. Yeah, that's why I sat with the Chelsea
Because
fans when
you can't, it never
Winterburn
works.
scored and we won 3-2.
That's the way to do
Unless
it.
you know you're going to win.
Oh, it was horrible. I
the way
didn't
to do it.
enjoy it. I mean, it was great to see it, but I couldn't. I
no,
couldn't
it's
celebrate.
shocking.
It's a shame we haven't got a left back who's going to score
I
a
did
goal against
celebrate.
Chelsea anymore, isn't it?
I did celebrate at Leicester away with Keith. I was with Keith, and we sat there. We got
What
tickets.
game was that?
Leicester away. We drew 1-1. We got an equaliser in the last minute about 4 or 5 seasons ago, and me and Keith were doing a gig up there. So we sat in the Leicester away end, and I couldn't help myself. I'm getting stick from these Leicester fans. So when we scored with our equaliser in the 92nd minute, I'm going, get in there, take that. And then I noticed the only other 4 or 5 people standing up were all enormous Arsenal fans in our bit.
Was that Filbert Street or the
Filbert Street.
the horrible
Filbert
new
Street.
one?
Yeah, Filbert Street.
I went to the horrible new one.
The Walkers
And we let
Stadium.
one in at the last minute. It was 1-1.
Yeah.
But Filbert Street, I like Filbert Street. Proper ground. That odd little stand all down one side that's about 6 foot tall.
What was it? The one at Southampton that tapered away to nothing. It was just one row.
Yeah, it ended up with one bloke. It was,
One bloke at the end.
it was one bloke standing in the corner of the
That was
terrace.
it.
And then it was 2 blokes, 3
Yeah,
blokes, 4
yeah,
blokes. Right. And he went, oh, well, hang on. Someone's coming. So I think I've run out of things to talk about. We play Liverpool
Wednesday.
night.
Yeah.
Big game. What's the matter with you? Are you coming on Wednesday?
I'm coming on Wednesday.
We'll
yeah.
see what the weather's like then.
This
shall
is
we?
important. We've got to beat
I'll
them.
be there supporting the team.
This
Yeah,
is
it's-
important,
this is
you know.
the third.
United have got Villa away, Chelsea got Everton away. If we get a Villa win,
we're back
and
in
Everton
it.
win, and Arsenal win, it's back on.
I'm going to stick a bet on that.
It's back
I'm
on.
sticking a bet on that. I'm in.
So yeah, and we're going to play. Obviously, Almunia will be in goal. Don't let that upset you.
Well,
So yeah, we've
well
got
why
to
don't we
take,
play Chesney? Why don't we have him then?
Because Brentford have got him.
Brentford are going.
Well, can't we get him back?
They're
He's
on a
ours,
fine
isn't he?
run.
He's,
Yeah,
he's our
yours,
goalkeeper.
mate. He's fourth choice,
You're
apparently.
pinning your hopes
Yeah,
on
but do you know, none of the rest of them work, so let's just get him. Let's try another one. I think we should have a new goalkeeper every game and see what. I really am
It reminds me
seriously
of a line
down
from
on our
New
goalkeeper.
Jack- It reminds me of a line from New Jack
You were
City.
the last Almunia
I
fan
was.
standing. That's what's ironic.
And can I also apologise to you because you suggested Vermaelen in the holding role, and I
Yeah.
saw somebody else write that as well at the weekend.
Yeah,
So
but
why
he
don't we
also
play
suggested-
Vermaelen?
Take someone in a
He also suggested
essentially somebody knows what they're
Vermaelen the
talking
left back. Or was that you? Or was that Tony Adams?
Tony Adams said we should have Gallus at right back, Vermaelen at left back, and sign 2 massive centre halves like that Fulham fella and someone else.
You ever watch New Jack City? That film New Jack City.
No.
Wesley Snipes is.
I'm
some
43. I'm white. Have you ever watched New Jack
That's a
City?
total fair
I don't
point.
even know what it means.
What do you mean? What's that?
Is it a
Wesley
brand of
Snipes.
jeans?
Wesley Snipes. There's a line in it. He goes, "Cancel that bitch. I'll buy a new one." So I'm saying we should cancel that goalkeeper and buy a new one.
Oh, I see what you're
I see what
saying.
you're
But
saying.
of course, it's
In a
lost
street
got
way.
2 40-something white blokes.
Yo yo.
So
Everyone,
Yeah.
help me out here.
cancel
You
that
know what I'm
bitch. I'll
talking
buy a
about.
new
I'll
one.
cancel it. I'll get my direct debit sorted
Cancel
out.
that keeper. I'll buy a
Cancel
new one.
that direct debit on Almunia.
In the middle class Arsenal way.
So New New Jack City Wednesday night then.
New Jack City, I'm there with a flat top
We'll be there.
and a line in my
We'll
hair.
be there.
Of course we'll be there.
Always a pleasure, boys. See you next week.
Thanks,
See you
Al.
then.
Ta-ra.